Hey there, I have a tiny confession to make, and that is that I absolutely suck at aiming. And this is something that has been true for a very, very long time. See, I am what some would call an elder gamer, okay? I have been PC gaming for well over 20 years now. This year, depressingly, I turned 40 years old. My first-person shooter PC game I played, I believe, was Quake 2, something like that. I started gaming like in the late 1990s, and I fell in love with first-person shooters. I really got into Counter-Strike. I actually got in like before Counter-Strike 1.6 came out, and then I got really into that. And now today, 20 plus years later, I'm playing Marvel Rivals, all right? So yeah, I was just never a good aimer. I used to play on a bunch of local Counter-Strike teams with my friends back when LAN centers were super popular. We were like in leagues and everything, and we were pretty good, but I've never been the guy who frags out. I've been the guy who is good at, the strategy of the game. I used to be our in-game leader. And fun fact, I was actually one of the first professional esports coaches in the world back in the 1.6 days. For those of you who are old like me, you might remember a team by the name of Team 3D. I was their coach for a little while. So like I said, now I'm not nearly as competitive, but like everybody else, I want to rank up the Marvel Rivals ladder. So after 20 something years of just being terrible at aim, something just, something hit me and I'm like, you know what, Chris, why don't you at least try? Why don't you try to get better at aiming? So that's what I did, I'm a big believer in the work of Carol Dweck. For those of you who don't know who she is, she was like a famous psychologist. She might still be alive actually, but she did experiments and she came up with something called the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Long story short, there are people who believe that your skills, your attributes, whatever it is, whether it's intelligence or just anything you're trying to do in life, there are people who have a fixed mindset and they're like, this is what I was born with, this is how good I am at this is how good I'll be at this forever. But then there's a growth mindset, which is more realistic and actually, gives you the drive and motivation to get better at stuff. The growth mindset is basically, I can put in the time and the effort to practice something and get better at it. And I'm a firm believer in that. I've done a lot of things in my life where I sucked at it and I got a lot better. I was like, why not try with aim? So I wanted to make some videos just documenting my journey and kind of, publicly for some accountability, say my commitment to getting better at aim. I want to share with all of you because I'm sure there's some of you out there who suck at your aiming as well. So I'm like, hey, if this 40-year-old man can finally get good at aiming at this age, maybe you can too. So make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna document this a bit, mix it up with my Marvel Rivals content. And yeah, I just, I wanna bring you along for the journey. So what inspired me to do this? What happened after over 20 years of gaming? What happened that made me say, hey, maybe you should try getting better at aim? So it was a few things and they all kind of hit at once. So one of them is one of my best friends, somebody who I started gaming with back in the early 2000s, his name is Weenus, and he works for Aim Labs. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do know, Aim Labs is a company/game. You can find it on Steam. I believe it's on consoles too, but they have aim trainers. So my buddy works for Aim Labs and so it's always been in the back of my head. I'm like, oh yeah, he like works for a place where like people get, train and get better at aim and stuff. But I just never did it. I never wanted to commit any time to it. So that's one thing. He's been working for them for, a few years now, I think. Well, the next thing is one of my buddies, fellow Marvel Rivals content creator, Chaos Pro. For those of you who don't know, he makes Marvel Rivals content as well. He has a popular Marvel Rivals podcast. Go check him out. I'll try to remember to link him down in the description below. But anyways, this dude, he's been a console gamer his whole life. And the guy is good. He is good at Marvel Rivals and he plays on PC with a mouse and keyboard. Well, he just started, I just learned this about him. It was about a year ago, a little over a year ago when the Marvel Rivals Alpha came out, he decided to start PC gaming on a mouse and keyboard. And he basically just started aim training. I'm like, what the heck? Like I figured this dude's been playing for years. The dude's aim is good. He plays DPS, he frags out, like, I'm like, what? So like that to me, that was something where I was like, that gives me a little hope, right? I'm like, this guy can go from console, like it is a big difference. Like I've tried to teach a lot of people mouse and keyboard and it does not go well. So the fact that he was able to pick it up, put in the time and effort, and now he's like a solid aimer, like I believe like he's like gotten up to like eternity rank. And yeah, so he's good. So that's something that gave me a little hope as well. Next thing is, Aim Labs is actually doing a podcast now where they bring on like professional players and everything, and they brought on Line Pro, who's a professional Marvel Rivals player, and he's a strategist. So I main strategist, and I've been dabbling in tank for, a month or two now. And anyways, he's a strategist, and a lot of strategists, you're just, heal botting and stuff, but I want to be able to, get some frags. I have like Mantis at Lord and like Luna Snow at Lord, and I'm pretty decent at strategist, but I want to be able to, get frags when I need to, but also your aim is a big contributor, because you got to aim at your teammates unless you're playing like, Rocket or Cloak and Dagger. Well, anyways, Line Pro explained that he came from, I believe he said, League of Legends. And he really wanted to get into hero shooters. I can't remember if it was Overwatch or Valorant first, but anyways, he talked about how he used Aim Labs and he made this like routine of aim training. And he actually got pretty good and discussed, how he would like plateau and what he would do to get better. And he talked about like, some of the psychological blocks, like he thought he needed this or that and blah, blah, blah. Like at one point he talks about in the podcast, like he thought, oh, I can't improve my scores because, maybe my eyes are bad. So he goes to the eye doctor and the eye doctor's like, yo, your eyes are perfectly fine. And just getting rid of that mental block, he started improving his scores like in Aim Labs. So yeah, these are a lot of things that came together. Oh, one more thing. My buddy Weenus, who his name's Bobby, so I'll probably call him Bobby. But anyways, he showed me, when I started playing around with this idea, he showed me some dude who is a content creator, and he's 50 years old. He's 50 years old, and he's always on the leaderboards for like Aim Labs. And I'm like, well, what? I'm like, this dude's 10 years older than me, because not only was I not good at aim early on, like when I was younger, I started playing when I was a teenager. Well, as I age, I'm like, well, my reaction times are down. Like, I just gotta deal with it. But then once I found out that there was somebody who was 50 years old being a top aimer, I'm like, oh, okay, so it is possible. This is something I could do, right? Like another little fun fact about your buddy Bootman over here is I've been sober for 13 years now. And something that gave me motivation and inspiration to stay sober is seeing other people's do something. I'm like, oh, so it is possible. And then, that means that I'm not completely wasting my effort. I can give it a try. I might fail miserably. But anyway, seeing this 50-year-old gamer, I'm like, oh, maybe I can do that. All right. So I have seen some improvements. I'll dive into that a little bit more, but I wanted to just kind of like go over some things that I've done so far. So one of them obviously is aim training. I'll dive into what my routine is. I've been doing it for a couple weeks now. So I'll dive into that in a second. So I already had a mouse. I've been somebody where I've just never really cared about peripherals. I will get the cheapest, whatever. I've been using like Logitech, wired mice forever. And finally, this was a while ago before I even decided that I wanted to try this. My buddies convinced me to get a wireless mouse. So I got the Logitech G Pro X Superlight. I'll put this stuff in my description if you want to check out the peripherals I'm using. But anyways, I've never used a wireless mouse because back in my day, when wireless mice first came out, the sync with it was off, right? So if you were gaming and like you tried to turn or shoot or whatever, there'd be this like slight delay. And this was ages ago, okay? This was 10 plus years ago when wireless mice came out, and I haven't touched them since. My buddies convinced me, they're like, hey, technology's a lot better. So I've been using this mouse, and let me tell you, it's been great. And it's nice not having my cord catch on something. I have cats who love jumping up on my desk, so it's been nice not having to worry about them laying on my cord. So yeah, I got this mouse, but I've been using this mouse for, I don't know, a long time now. Since like last summer, I think. It's probably been almost a year. The second thing is I actually recently got a new mouse pad. So I've also never been somebody who's huge into mouse pads. I think like when I was super young, when people started first making esports mouse pads and stuff, I messed around with a little bit of them, but I was just like, they don't do anything for me. But my last mouse pad that I was using, I straight up just went to like redbubble.com and just got one I thought like the design was cool. And this thing sucked. As soon as I started aim training, I noticed how much my mouse would like stick to the mouse pad. It would make it like choppy and it was hard to aim. So I decided to get this new mouse pad. I got it off Amazon is this one, showing it on screen right now. So this is one that my buddy Bobby recommended. So I ended up getting this, and by the way, it is night and day. Like, I'm still debating on getting mouse skates, these little things that you put on the bottom of your mouse, but like the smoothness of my mouse has gone up exponentially just by getting a new mouse pad. Now I also don't want you to think that you got to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm a grown man with a child and I work a full-time job. I have disposable income. But yeah, I've been doing some research, and a lot of people have like discussed how, you know, some of these things help. Like, even Line Pro in his interview, which was amazing, he talks about how like he thought you had to dump all this money and everything, but again, a lot of it was mental blocks. So aside from those, you know, the mouse pad, I also started watching some YouTube videos. I don't know any of the creators off the top of my head, and to be honest, I need to get back in the habit of watching a little bit more, but there's YouTubers out there who do aim training videos, and they're excellent. They're excellent. Like, I would just type in, because one of the issues I have is tracking, okay? So just following somebody around with my mouse. And I'm like, how do you get better at this? If you just type into YouTube, how to get better at, you know, tracking and shooters or whatever, a million videos will pop up. And some of the people who are the best aimers in the world, they have videos about it. And I learned about, like, you know, just the tension with which I'm holding my mouse, how tight I'm holding my mouse, right? It's taught me to like focus more on just, you know, just the way my arm is positioned. I learned about, you know, aiming with like, you know, the 3 different parts of my arm, like from my fingers to my wrist to my, to like my actual arm, right? And when you're using each, and just hearing people like talk about these nuances of aim and these really minute details, like, you kind of figure like, how am I gonna remember all this while I'm playing? But once you actually get into aim training, like, and you're just kind of doing these repetitive things, you'll be doing like a task in an aim trainer, and these things will just start popping in your mind, right? Because it gets a little, you start getting into kind of a zone and everything, but then you start noticing things with your hand and your arm, and it really makes you just kind of like focus on certain things, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll work on this, I'll work on that. So anyways, YouTube videos are excellent. Sorry I didn't note down any YouTubers, but hey, that gives me content for a new video. I'll tell you about my favorite aim trainer content creators. Okay, so those are some things that I've been doing. But now let's specifically focus on the aim training aspect. So like I said, I have been using Aim Labs. There's a few different ones, I believe. Like, I think another popular one is Kovacs. So I've been doing Aim Labs on Steam, and something that I've been doing is I've dedicated 30 minutes a day, and I wanna do 30 minutes a day for at least 3 to 6 months. I haven't decided whether or not I'll do 3 to 6 months, but once you get into a habit, into a routine, like, you can go forever, right? Like, I just try to personally give myself a limit, because anything else like seems overwhelming. If I'm like, I'm gonna do this for a year, it's like, okay, calm down, or I'm gonna do this forever, you know? If I can set a goal with an end date, it's a lot more doable for me. So I can proudly tell you that for 2 weeks now, so for 14 days, I have done at least 30 minutes a day. But like, sometimes it's like a little bit fun, or I'll have like a work break, or, you know, just some free time, and I'll go in and I'll do more aim training. Half the time I'm actually doing more than 30 minutes as well. So what am I doing when I'm doing these aim trainers? So one thing I did, I am somebody who uses AI a lot to help me out with work. And like, I'm not somebody who like uses it to just like cheat my way through life. I do it a lot to like brainstorm ideas or have it just point me in the right direction. So anyways, I had it, you know, just kind of spitball some ideas of what like a good routine would look like for aim training. So it actually made me like, a list of different tasks I could use in Aim Labs and practice for like 30 minutes a day. And AI, by the way, is not that great. So it gave me some stuff that like, you know, was somewhat helpful, not helpful. So anyways, I made that playlist, and then I kind of adjusted a little bit. I adjusted it based on some things that I saw in YouTube videos, some different tasks and everything. But yeah, that's something that I did. So I started using that quite a bit at first, but then, so now, like that was like the first few days, like I was very strict about just doing that one. But now the last few days, I've been playing around with stuff and I've been trying to work on different things, right? So something that I heard a lot in a lot of the YouTube videos is like, basically like the one skill you really wanna get good at is tracking. Like if you get good at tracking, the other things will fall into place. So like me, like the kind of like flick shots and point and clicks, like I'm not the best at it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something I've been half decent at. Like in Counter-Strike, you know, I use the op a lot. I also loved like using like the USP as a pistol, and like I was always like half decent with it. So like all the tasks, and they seem like the most popular tasks where you just point and click, like, you know, like grid shot or, you know, whatever it is, those seem to be the most popular ones. And I think just a lot of people are at least decent at those. Like it seems to me like tracking is one of the most difficult skills. So it's something that I try to focus on. I'll be honest, like I probably don't even do it as much as I should because it gets very, very, very frustrating. Like imagine playing Marvel Rivals. Like, I don't know if you ever played against someone who plays a flyer, like Human Torch, and they're just like going around on every axis just constantly. Like it is crazy how much they move. They're going up, down, left, right, forward, back. They're going all over the place. And, you know, these tracking aim trainers, like, it's like doing that times like a million, right? Which I think is cool too. It's so much harder in the aim trainer task that when you actually go into game, it's almost easier, all right? So anyways, I've also experimented with other playlists. There's a bunch of pre-made playlists in Aim Labs that I'll play around with. They also do a playlist of the day and you earn some Aim Labs like in-game currency where you can like use it to like buy skins and stuff. So I'll use that sometimes as well. But yeah, I try to make sure I do at least 30 minutes. So sometimes I'll do a playlist and I'll end a little early. So then I'll go jump and do, you know, some other just like individual tasks or try out new things and all that. But I'm trying to focus on tracking and I need to do it a little bit more. Lastly, I want to talk about, after 2 weeks, what are my results like? Like, you know, I cannot tell you, like, it is crazy to me. After 20 plus years of playing these games, I'm blown away at how much improvement I've seen in just 2 weeks. In just 2 weeks time. Like, in Aim Labs, I'm already regularly beating my high scores. Like it's nuts to me. It's crazy seeing the improvements, and just my whole way of thinking has completely changed. Like, so something that I've noticed when like transitioning into Marvel Rivals, it's actually a few things. One of them is I don't spaz out. I don't spaz out nearly as much. Something that, you know, would mess me up is just somebody like pops up or they're close range or whatever, and I just start flinging my mouse all over the place like a lunatic, okay? Something that aim trainers do is just, there's so much movement and everything, you're just focusing on your aim. Like, I've noticed how much more relaxed and calm I am and intentional about my aiming in games now. Like, I'm not freaking out nearly as much. And obviously that's making my accuracy a lot more better. The other thing that's helped out so much is just target prioritization. I can't tell you how nuts it is. Like I said, like I've been gaming for so long, it blows my mind that I've never really had like target priority. Like I especially noticed that in Marvel Rivals, like I've always just kind of like shot at, you know, whatever. Not so much with like strategists, you know, but like, you know, if I do dabble in DPS or, you know, whatever, or if I am going from strategist to like try to help, you know, shoot at the other team or whatever, like I've never really had like target priority. I'm just like, who's the easiest person to shoot? I'm gonna shoot them. And oftentimes that's a tank, and oftentimes that's a waste of your time. Now when I'm playing, like I'm looking for, you know, strategists in the back line, right? And I'm actually accurately hitting them. But even if I'm not hitting them because my aim still isn't like amazing, like it's good that I'm at least prioritizing it. It's good that I'm at least putting pressure on those people in the back line. Like, it's been super helpful, because when you're doing aim trainers, the reason why target prioritization has improved, I believe, is because when you're trying to beat your scores in aim trainers, you have to be smart about switching targets. And this is actually something that aim trainers measure. It's like, did you go to the next like best target, right? The one that was like closest, or, you know. So as I'm playing these aim trainers and trying to improve my high score, like I'm thinking 2 steps ahead. Like when I'm shooting a target, I'm already thinking about, once this target's down, what's the next closest one that I can hit? That is transitioning into Marvel Rivals, and it's been super, super cool. There's just so many different things that I'm already noticing. Those are like 2 of the biggest ones. Tracking too, oh my God. My tracking is still terrible, but it is so much better. I'm getting frags where I'm just like, I do not even know how I'm doing it. Like I've been having videos of gameplay and aim trainers up this whole time just to kind of show you that I'm not that great. But even with me not being this great, I'm doing so much better. The main challenge right now is that since I've been focusing so much on aim, it's been difficult for me to kind of have that well-rounded gameplay, because, beforehand, I just kind of gave up on my aiming. So, I was focusing a lot on movement and, using my abilities and everything else in the game. But now that I'm focusing on my aim a lot more, like my movement is kind of suffering, using my skills is kind of suffering. So now I really got to find that balance. And honestly, like I've been super duper busy lately, so I haven't had as much time to play as I would like to. Like I just want to grind ranked mode and just like really put my skills to the test in there. But like lately I've just, since I'm dedicating at least like 30 minutes, I'm usually doing it before work to aim training. And then I try to slip in some actual Marvel Rivals gaming. But yeah, like last couple weeks have been hectic, but soon I'll have time, and I just really want to grind the ladder and just put my skills to the test there. But anyways, this video, man, I was wondering, I was like, I don't even think this video is gonna be 10 minutes long, but your buddy Boot, man, he's a yapper. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. This is just kind of an introduction to my journey, and anybody out there, especially if you're an older gamer like me, or you're just somebody who sucks at gaming, I hope this gives you a little bit of hope, and maybe you wanna go out and do something too. All right, Aim Labs, most of it is 100% free. If you want to try it out, it is super duper free. So many things you could do in there are free. They do have paid stuff that you could do. I got a month of Aim Labs just to like kind of experiment with it. They have like a sensitivity finder and all these other things. If I'm being totally honest, and sorry anybody from Aim Labs if you're listening here, like I don't know if the paid version is like worth it, right? Like the sensitivity finder has been like kind of cool, but that's a whole nother story. But anyways, but yeah, definitely try out Aim Labs. They have like a community and stuff like that and all that. But anyways, I'll be making more videos on this, documenting my journey, make some more detailed videos and all that. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. We got Marvel Rivals content coming, more of this series, but yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.